Okay, so we're going to talk about how to facilitate a change in a rider who's on a horse that has a low front corner. This is a pretty common problem, actually. So let's give you some solid tools on how to fix that. There's a procedure, and I learned it when I was doing my instructor courses with centered riding. So if we imagine the rider's seat bones, and we don't think about having one seat bone, we think of two, the left and right side, or right and left side of the seat bones on the bottom of the rider's pelvis, which is really where we want to be sitting, not on those big muscles on the back of our butt. So when we're sitting on those, think about if this is the left one, for example, we can tip our pubis bone so that we're on the front of that left pubis bone, or we can rock back onto the back edge of that pubis bone. And the same with the right. We can tip forward and we can tip back. And get your rider comfortable with doing this, because it becomes quite important. The other thing is to be able to sit in the center of both pubis bones and notice, does the rider, or you yourself as a rider, do you tend to carry more weight on one side than on the other? So the side that you're carrying the weight on will be the low side, because you're going to be falling into that side. When you want to change your own balance points, and when you want to improve the horse's ability to move and work through their shoulders, what you do is you actually raise the seat bone that's on the low side so it becomes level with the inside one. So if the right side of the horse's back is low, this being my right hand, then what's going to happen is the rider is going to be tipped down into that right seat bone. So they can't, unless they raise that low seat bone, they can't become any straighter above that. They have to change the foundation that's carrying their body weight by bringing that up, which transfers all the weight onto that left seat bone. Now, I've played around with that a whole bunch as a dressage rider, and also doing speed work with jumping horses, and now with barrel racing horses. So the rider wants to be able to develop the ability to identify which seat bone is carrying the weight, and along with that, which seat bone is lower or higher than the other one. And this is a really key point. So once you understand or realize that you're falling into that hole, let's take that going around a corner to the left again, and you know before you get there that that horse is going to counterflex. So instead of being flexed around the corner, it's going to counterflex, okay, and go across that tangent, partly because you've put your weight out there, which is pushing them away from where you want them to be. So by preparing far enough back, depending on the horse, it might be 1 or 2 or even 3 strides, where you raise that outside seat bone so it's not carrying any weight, and put all the weight on that inside seat bone, and then bring your inside shoulder up and back, your outside shoulder forward, and look around. And when you can do that, then you're not going to be losing your balance to the outside, you're not going to be falling in that hole, and you're not, going to be setting the horse up to be wrong. Now, if the horse is a mature horse and it's been ridden like that for a long time because nobody had this information before, then don't expect your horse to be compliant right away, because they've been habituated into doing it incorrectly and having people get in their mouths and, do all kinds of things because it's been viewed as a disobedience from the horse. And when you're an instructor coach, a disobedience or a rider imperfection that makes a person kind of jump up and down and scream and yell and say, "You did it again." So instead of doing that punishment and reward thing, you set it up so that the person can actually balance themselves appropriately around that corner, be more functional, be more athletic, and to be able to consistently do that. And then you'll see an improvement in how things are going. Thank you.